And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Always busy on a hump day, too, with a slew of shows going on for the rest of the week, too, as well. And we just keep adding them here faster than you can probably download them here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. And, of course, out there, hightidecountry.net and our friends at KKTC True Country 99.9. Told you guys it was going to be a good one today, too. Anytime you say Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter, he's a show regular, too, has been back here. Jonas Myrin to the show. Jonas, how you doing?
Doing so good. So great to be with you again, Brandon. This is so fun.
Always great to have you. Well, let's talk about this one and let the cat out of the bag, too, because you had gotten a call for this latest single, which came out April 12th, which was last week on Friday. I thought this was phenomenal. I got all the information on it, press release and everything, made for you. And this is coming up in a film release for a film called The Hopeful, which is amazing. Just talk about this project, Jonas, and how excited you were to sit down at the piano, get the call to write a song for this great movie coming out.
Yeah, it was so cool, man. So my buddy Cal Portbury is an incredible Emmy Award-winning director, and he called me out of the blue, and he said, Jonas, I have made a movie, and I would love for you to see it, and maybe you'll be inspired. He goes, no pressure, just see if something comes to you. And I said, cool. And he sent me a rough cut of the film, and it had no scoring. It was just temp music. It had not final editing. It was no grading, one of those like raw kind of pieces. But I saw it, and even in that really kind of raw form, I just fell in love with the story, and it really touched me. It was in the middle of COVID. This is 2 years ago. And I saw the film, and I literally ran to the piano after I had seen it, and I wrote the first song for the film called Hope is on the Way, which is the end title of the movie, the end credit song when the text is rolling. And it's actually in the film as well a few times. And then after that, I'm like, there's another one I want to write. And I wrote Made for You, the one that just got released. And I asked my engineer, I said, which one should I send? Carlos asked for one song. And we tracked both in my studio. And he goes, Jonas, you have to send him both. I said, okay, I'll send him both. And I was like, I had no idea if Kyle was going to resonate with the songs or anything. Got a phone call not too long after, and he said, Jonas, here's the deal. I know I asked for one song, but both are going to have to be in the movie because they're both just as good. So we ended up recording both for the film. I flew to Australia, and we worked on the music there for it, and we tracked the vocals and some of the instruments, and then we took it to Sweden, where Kalle Ask, who's an incredible Swedish producer, a friend of mine. We did the productions together with the Stockholm Studio Orchestra, which is part of the Swedish Stockholm Symphony. So they're playing on it, and it got mastered in New York. So it's like this incredible global collaboration.
It's amazing, too. And just talk about the ride, you've been on ever since we last talked, which I know has been a few months here and there since we talked, maybe a year or so. But, man, this ride of great music and great music videos, and just touching people's hearts with the music you put out there too, and the storytelling through your music, and just such an accomplished writer that you are, man. I'm sure it's been like a blur, but at the same time, just good things keep finding you. And this has been one hell of a ride, hasn't it?
Oh man, honestly. And I feel like you've been part of it because you were really part of the early first kind of songs that I put out under my own name as Jonas Myrin, and you were a big supporter. So thanks for that, man. And I have had such a crazy journey, dude, this last season of, I think for me, it was so important to release songs that were not just music, but music that could touch hearts, music that could inspire people, music that could help people, and with Mountains, for example, I think that was so crazy because that song kind of came out at the end of COVID, where people really were going through a lot of, there were a lot of mountains in people's lives, and that song just helped inspire them to know that no matter what you're facing, with faith in your heart, you can overcome it. And I feel the same with the songs from The Hopeful. They have this element of tension and truth, and kind of in the fabric of the songs is the spirit of just hope, and that it's going to be okay. You just keep going. And if you're reminded of why you are here and who you're made for and what you're made for. And it's been really cool, man, watching these songs go actually into the whole world. Like we released them globally on Friday, and getting messages from like all the way from Asia to South America to Africa, and obviously here in the States, of people just resonating with the music. So it means so much.
You know, you've done a lot in your career too, and we talked about that too, with collaborations with other just terrific artists, box office names, people in the industry too, going to a lot of these great events. Just talk about how much more important, Jonas, that's becoming in the industry today. Those collaborations where you see country with pop, and you see a bro country movement, and you see a little bit of classical country coming back with some modern day things. This collaboration and this crossover, if you will, of different genres of music, it's becoming more a common theme for the industry, right?
That's right. I think it's a really exciting time for music, because even like 5 years ago, we didn't see this type of collaborative thing happening in the music industry. It was very much like, if you are a country artist, you stay in your lane. If you're a pop artist, you stay in that lane. If you're a gospel artist, you stay in that lane. But right now we're seeing this incredible, beautiful, very organic thing, because I think creatives and musicians actually really love other styles of music that they're in. I think there is a lot of people think, oh, if you like country, you only like country, but that's not true, actually. If you don't like rock, you don't like rock. No, I think we're all inspired by each other, and it's been really beautiful to watch people opening themselves up to new genres, and someone covering their song in a different way, and just watching that with Beyonce right now, I think is incredible.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Her making this country record that is #1 in the whole world. And to me, it just shows the beauty of an artist also introducing this beautiful genre into a new fan base, which I think is super cool, and to a new generation that maybe, in some parts of the world would not necessarily listen to country, but she's opening up the storytelling aspect of songwriting and music to a whole new generation, which I think is beautiful.
It is, and I tell people about this. The Hopeful, I believe, comes out next week, and it's actually going to be over 1,000 movie theaters nationwide. Is that correct?
That's right, Brendan. Like, it's so exciting. We had the global premiere on Monday, actually, in LA, and tonight it premieres on over 1,000 theaters all across the US, and it's going to be available, I think, in all AMCs around the country and Regal theaters. So people can go, if they go into hopefulmovie.com, hopefulmovie.com, you can see where it's showing in your hometown, and you can bring a friend and go see this beautiful movie about hope and faith, and bring a friend. And
don't just get one ticket, get multiple tickets out there too. Yeah. Hey, I know you're no stranger to the music videos too. For The Ones We Love, which came out in 2021. First of all, well done song. Kudos on that one too. Another one of those positive, uplifting messages out there too for the specific audience that we're talking about too out there. But what a great job on the song. Another great job. Talk about the song itself, the writing, and of course the music video that came out after.
Yeah, that was a special one for me, Brendan, because that was my first song released after a really tough time of grieving my father who passed. And I really just wanted to write a song of healing, a song that could really remind us that this life, every day, is actually a gift. And to remind us of that unconditional love and that beautiful gift of unconditional love that is not to be taken for granted. And for the ones we love, I think what it did, it created this incredible movement where people start sharing the song themselves for them doing things for people they loved. So it had this incredible viral moment happening, and I saw it chart in countries literally across the world that we didn't even promote the song in. And I think that showed the power of a melody and lyric that is from the heart, that is resonating with all ages. It was for me, it was a really encouraging moment, actually, because I felt for me that song had helped me, and I was like, okay, I really hope this can also be helpful for someone else. And it's out there now, and it's doing its thing. And we actually released a song, a version of that song in Spanish too.
Wow. Okay.
It's Cuando I Amor, and that ended up reaching top 10 in Spain. And I was in Colombia singing it on big TV shows there, and in Mexico on all their TV shows, and I'm like, this is crazy. What's happening with this song? It really was an incredible gift for me actually to be part of as well.
Well, you got an incredible gift, and you're sharing it with the world out there. Again, Made for You came out Friday of last week, April 12th. And, of course, The Hopeful is in select theaters tonight with the premiere. And, of course, next week, more of over 1,000 theaters out there from Regal. Check out The Hopeful for that positive, uplifting message out there, too, at the same time. We got to take a time out here. More with Jonas Myrin here on the program, jonasmyrin.com. But I tell you what, if you guys want to buy some great just jewelry out there, too, if you're doing that, it's always a fun time out there to do it with our friends at Jewelry by Tommy, myself, Jonas. You can go ahead and buy some jewelry too while you're out there. Ship it to us. It's always good. Or your spouse, friend, family member. Email our friend, Tom Burley, at burleysystem@yahoo.com today to order. It's handcrafted, handmade. It's Jewelry by Tommy. Also, we talked about that, how Jonas's music impacts so many people out there too. Positive, uplifting, faith and hope and everything out there. Deals positive messages because life is a gift. You want to hear the best in country Christian music, check him out. Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Jonathan Bond out there, jonathanbond.com. Click the link below, too, as well, to get that positive, uplifting message. Quick timeout. Coming back, it is the Backstage Pass, KKTC True Country 99.9, and our friends at hightidecountry.net, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. Stay tuned. More to come.
Ever thought about owning your own business? Tanya Lapsley-Cockett did. She decided a little over 5 years ago that she was going to be an entrepreneur, so she started her travel business. Tanya is married and works a full-time job. Her business has given her amazing opportunities. Not only does she get to help people create memories by booking their vacations, sporting and entertainment tickets, rental cars, etc., but it has also allowed her to help other families create legacy income. The travel industry is extremely lucrative and is an $8 trillion industry. The travel industry is projected to earn in excess of $15 trillion over the next 10 years. The travel industry pays its professionals up to 70 to 80% commission on the travel that they book for themselves and their clients. As a travel business owner, Tanya books travel and teaches others how to own and operate their own travel business. She is a director in training on the marketing side of her business, where she has helped over 90 families start their own businesses. If you're interested in owning your own travel business, please contact Tanya at 917-743-1199 or at ladytlc3555@me.com.
The Kate Gordon Show. Today's best country mix is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thekategordonshow.com for more information on the show.
The Bangtail Pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Murrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here with two-time Grammy and Billboard Award winner Jonas Myrin on the Backstage Pass. Always fun to have him and catch up with the latest projects. Again, out there, too, across all those platforms. Is Made for You. Came out just last week, featured in the movie The Hopeful, which is coming out tonight with the premiere in Los Angeles. And, of course, out there, too, select theaters, over 1,000 theaters nationwide coming up next week for the full release on that, too. Hey, I want to go back to a great project, and we probably talked about this last time you were on, but you had worked with many of the greats, Andrea Bocelli and, of course, Barbra Streisand. She put out an album called, I believe it's called Walls, back in 2018. And you got to co-produce and do some amazing work for the great Barbra Streisand. For people that don't know about that project, Jonas, just kind of fill them in, man. Fill in the blanks. That was a fantastic job that you did, too. And Barbara is such a legend in the business.
Yeah, thanks, man. It truly was so crazy. What a dream project to get to work with truly one of the greats. I will never forget sitting in her house on the piano, sharing the song that she wanted to record of mine. She recorded, I think, 5 songs of mine on that album. And David Foster, the great, incredible producer, standing to my right, Barbara to my left, and Carol Bray Sager, an amazing co-writer friend of mine, written so many classics over there. And I'm playing the song, and Barbara starts singing next to me on the piano. I'm like, it was such a surreal moment, you know, when you, from a small town like I am in Sweden, you know, and I grew up listening to her voice on the, you know, the record player where my parents, or CD player back then, would play her music. And suddenly I'm at her house and she's singing something that I wrote for her. It was one of the wildest moments, Brennan. And it just makes you, it's just such a beautiful reminder that nothing is impossible when you have a dream in your heart, and when you just want to stay true to that little voice inside that you know is like, I have something I want to say with my music, and I have this this desire to connect. And you know, the journey before that had been really long, and so many letdowns and so many moments of you know, failure and things that in the natural could make you want to quit music, right? But I just kept going, and then the breakthroughs happened, you know. And it's working with Barbara I felt like was probably the most incredible masterclass as an artist and songwriter, just sitting with her for, you know, that project. We worked on it for a whole year. So I got to spend a lot with her and the team, and truly an inspiring person, not just an incredible singer, but the amount of wealth of wisdom that she has, and watching her process the lyrics and breaking down every line to make sure that every lyric resonated with her was a really fascinating process.
You actually wrote one off there, one of my favorites. Oh my God, it was co-writing Gloria, the Gift of Life. Oh my goodness, what a fantastic song too. It just hit, recorded, I believe, was Andrea Bocelli recorded it, and what a tremendous piece of work. Amazing.
Oh, thanks, Brennan. Yeah, that was a dream to get to collaborate with Andrea Bocelli too. When I got the phone call from Bob Ezrin, his producer, saying that they wanted to record the song, I just couldn't believe it, you know, because Andrea normally works with a lot of his Italian writers, obviously, and I just felt the song was something that maybe he would resonate with. But it was a long journey in trying to get it over to Italy and for it to find him, but it did. And the song has, you know, reached millions globally now. That song, and it won #1 in both the US Billboard and the UK Billboard. It's actually the first contemporary classical record to do that in history. So it was an incredible thing to be part of as a writer and a fan. So
no doubt. And I know that you've worked on some Christmas stuff before. I got to listen to this and kind of put it in the rotation of my Christmas tunes out there with the great Idina Menzel. It had to be another one of those moments. It's just like, wow, this is really happening too as well. That album was very successful for her. Talk about the project there, working on that Christmas album with Idina Menzel too.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, Idina to me is truly like, what an incredible interpreter of lyric. The way that we saw that when she sang Let It Go with Frozen, right? Like that, that song, she brought that song to life. I don't know if Let It Go would be what it is without Idina Menzel. I mean, it was always a really good song, but she just brought a character and an interpretation of the lyric and a voice that just made it so iconic, that song. And she just has that ability, Idina, to bring things alive. And we wrote at this table, actually in my house in the summer. It was not Christmas. My publisher and friend, Evan Lamberg from Universal Music Publishing Group, had put us together. And I didn't really know what was going to kind of happen, because I obviously know her music. I know she's brilliant, but I didn't know in a writing room what we were going to work on and what we were going to write. And I had this little song idea at this table that I felt I wanted to play for her. And she just loved it. And we finished it together that day. And I sent a little voice note to Evan, and he was like, this is a good one. You know, he said, this is a special one. And it's been really beautiful to watch that song come back every year, actually. It's become a big Thanksgiving song too, which is really cool, because I don't think there's a lot of Thanksgiving songs out there. There's a lot of Christmas and holiday music, but it's become like a Thanksgiving like anthem where, especially over Thanksgiving, thousands of people share it and they play it at their table with their families, and it's been really beautiful to watch that.
Man, you also put out another great piece of work, and I've just followed and continued to build on your work because you're one of the most successful, most accomplished singer-songwriters out there too, working with all these amazing people. But I remember you told about the story, and for my new listeners in the market of Oklahoma, New Mexico, Colorado, they may not know this, but you put out a great composed, well-done version with Victorious. And Nicole Scherzinger is a fantastic singer-songwriter out there. Her list of accomplishments speak for themselves. This thing went like global into, I believe, the Special Olympics in Abu Dhabi. Over 100 million people. That's right, 100 million people reached this too. Talk about that story and just what Victorious meant to you.
Well, that was an incredible moment. We had this song, me and Nicole, and she mentioned to me, like, they've asked for me to perform at the World Olympics, and they have asked for an original song. And we wrote it to be an anthem of just with faith in your heart, you can overcome anything. And little did we know that they were actually going to, out of all the songs, they said, that's the one we want. And I actually got to go to Abu Dhabi and performing at the World Games closing show with Nicole. And it was actually one of the most incredible moments. And Nicole is just a phenomenal, not just artist, but creative and human being and soul. She's become a really dear friend of mine as well. And she actually won a Olivier Award on Sunday in London for Best Actress for Sunset Boulevard. So huge congrats to Nicole out there.
She's amazing out there too. Love her work too. Again, made for you across all those platforms for streaming. Check it out. It's already doing great things. Came out last Friday. The movie The Hopeful is premiered tonight in Los Angeles, and of course next week select theaters, Regal, and get it out there if you need that positive, uplifting message that Jonas's music really brings out there. It's infectious. It really is awesome. Make sure you guys go download the song and look for more great projects out there too. We got to take our final time out. We'll come back and do a little rapid fire with Jonas here on the program. And for all the work, jonasmyrin.com, for all the website stuff out there too, for all the projects. We'll come back and talk about a song that really uplifted us during COVID called Not Alone here after a quick time out here on the Backstage Pass. And, of course, the music videos out there across all those digital platforms out there too. But again, if you need that jewelry out there too, one place to go, your spouse, friend, family member, or someone else, you just want to buy it. You love jewelry. You love the bling. Jewelry by Tommy's got you covered. Email our friend Tom Burley at burleysystem@yahoo.com today. Place your order out there too. It's handcrafted, handmade jewelry by Tommy too. Also positive, uplifting message. Our good friend Jonathan Bond in country Christian music out there. Check him out, jonathanbond.com. And click the link below right there too. Check out his latest music video for the best and positive, uplifting country Christian music out there too. Jonathan Bond doesn't get any better unless you're listening to Jonas Myrin out there too across all those streaming platforms. Quick timeout. Coming back, a word from Bangtail Whiskey. And coming back, final segment with Jonas here on the program. KKTC, True Country, 99.9, and our friends at HighTideCountry.net. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Ever thought about owning your own business? Tanya Lapsley-Cockett did. She decided a little over 5 years ago that she was going to be an entrepreneur, so she started her travel business. Tanya is married and works a full-time job. Her business has given her amazing opportunities. Not only does she get to help people create memories by booking their vacations, sporting and entertainment tickets, rental cars, etc., but it has also allowed her to help other families create legacy income. The travel industry is extremely lucrative and is an $8 trillion industry. The travel industry is projected to earn in excess of $15 trillion over over the next 10 years. The travel industry pays its professionals up to 70 to 80% commission on the travel that they book for themselves and their clients. As a travel business owner, Tanya books travel and teaches others how to own and operate their own travel business. She is a director in training on the marketing side of her business, where she has helped over 90 families start their own businesses. If you're interested in owning your own travel business, please contact Tanya at 917-743-1199 or at ladytlc3555@me.com.
And back here on the program, Jonas Myrin joining us here on the Backstage Pass. Again, check out all the latest to work out there. One of the most accomplished singer-songwriters, two-time Billboard-winning and Grammy Award winner out there, too, as well. Again, the song Made for You across all those streaming platforms. And, of course, the movie The Hopeful comes out, season premiere in select theaters tonight, of course, in Los Angeles, and next week across some of the Regal great theaters out there, too, at the same time. All right, I got a little fun because you've traveled a lot of places around the world, and we'll do some little things in rapid fire here. Sweden, no doubt. I've got to get over there and try the cuisine, the culture, everything over there in Europe and all that great, beautiful country that you guys are from there. But what's your favorite meal, either to cook, Jonas, or to do some takeout? What do you like to eat?
Ooh, I'm one of those guys. I kind of love every type of kind of international cuisine for different reasons. Like I love a good Thai food. I love a nice Chinese. I love good Italian food, good French food. If I'm going to cook, I think I do Italian. I think my favorite meal to cook is spaghetti bolognese. Yeah. And I'm very ambitious when it comes to cooking. So if I do cook, which doesn't happen very often, I go all in. So it's like it becomes like 3-4 hour process where I slow cook everything, and it becomes this like almost overly ambitious thing, which makes it so fun and a little exhausting because it's so much. I just go all in, but I love me some good
stuff. I love that out there too. I love that you got a chance to do another great project together in this, from Jungle Beat to the movie, Natasha Bedingfield. I mean, my goodness, this thing again went global, viral too. Talk about this project too. How much fun to work with the great Natasha Bedingfield.
Well, we had so much fun, and we actually released this project during COVID. So it was an amazing thing because Natasha is one of my best friends, and the fact that we were living already in our little bubble. Remember those when we had a couple of people that you were able to see? She was in my LA bubble, and her beautiful son Solomon is my godson, and we were already seeing each other, hanging out during that time, and I got asked by the movie company that did Jungle Beat to write an end title for it, because they had to kind of reshift their whole strategy, because they couldn't take the movie to theaters because the theaters were closed. So they were going straight to VOD, and they were like, we just need a great end title song. Do you think you could write something? And I said, sure. I wrote the song, and they said, who should sing it? I said, well, what about Natasha? She's in my bubble. She can just come over to record it. And if she likes it, and I played it for her, and she really loved it. And off we went on this like crazy 2-month, like Zoom nonstop PR global journey. Like it was hilarious. Like we were doing music videos in my house and in her house. We were doing live performances with mics set up from the living room on like Ryan Seacrest and all these big shows. And I mean, it was really, it was a wild journey. Thinking back on it, I'm like, what a thing we went through, and what an incredible title to sum it up together in this. And I think that's what really happened in the world, like through that journey of COVID and the pandemic. I think we all got closer, and we all came out of it with a new sense of gratefulness for life and for freedom.
Yeah, and where I'm going with that too is a song I mentioned before the break there too, because you really put out a beautiful piece of just artwork. I call that, because songs telling stories, having people relate to it, Jonas. But Not Alone was out there too at the right time, whether it was intended for COVID or not. You guys put it out there in 2020. The music video people have to go watch this across all the platforms, because you want something inspiring and uplifting and something you can really make a easy connection to know that even pre-COVID, post-COVID, even now in life, what a terrific song and a terrific job on the music video for Not Alone.
Thanks so much, Brendan. I mean, that song meant a lot to me because I felt with kind of living alone during that pandemic. I think it really changed the world. It changed us all. And I think being separated from my family in Sweden and not being able to go see them, it really did make me feel alone. But then I realized that there's so many of us that are going through this. So we're not actually alone. We are together in our aloneness, and Not Alone just became, it was really interesting. It got released in the middle of the pandemic, very early on, and got translated to so many languages, kids doing their own versions of it, traveling around the world, giving people hope and giving them, I think that's the beautiful thing with music, that it's a reminder to people of these truths that deep down inside we already know. And I think Not Alone just reminded people that no matter what they're going through, they don't have to face it alone. And it was a special time.
It's just the uplifting music that's out there too. All right, we'll have a little fun with this one. Any new shows you're getting into to binge watch? Netflix, Hulu, any kind of new series you're getting into?
Yes. Well, I feel like I've been working so much on The Hopeful. So I've been like initially in the hopeful world this last season. But TV shows, yeah, I really love like a good, like fun comedy. Like I often feel my life is so intense. So I often like to watch something that's kind of lighthearted. I think like one of the classics for me that I always come back to is Just Friends. Like I can rewatch episodes and I still find it hilarious. Like it's just such fun, good TV. I saw the Heather McMahon actually comedy special at Netflix, and that she is so brilliant. Like I love her comedy. It's so good and witty and hilarious. That was fun. What about you? Anything you recommend?
I'm kind of getting into a lot of the, back to the reality shows like The Voice and American Idol, just to kind of watch and scout the new talent that's out there too, because I love those shows. I love diving into that particular music platform, which is always good. Picking up things as I continue to learn about, now that I'm fully engulfed in the music business and other forms and fashions beside a podcast, I can always get in there and do some other sides of it to learn about the making of a song or the production of a song. And you hear like Reba McEntire and Chance the Rapper, and of course John Legend, all the greats that are doing the coaching out there, Dan and Shay, Grammy Award winners in their own right too, giving the feedback to artists, the consultation almost, if you will, about what it takes to make it in this thing called the music business. So I pick up little tidbits of things like that are just a ton of everything to really look at. So I'm really diving back in to those type of singing shows for me.
Yeah, I love it. And it's so inspiring watching that mentorship. I actually collaborated with one of the Voice winners, Jordan Smith.
Oh yeah.
And it was really cool because he told me a little bit about that journey and what that did for him and how it just completely changed his whole life, that TV show. And I think it's an incredible platform that it gives young artists to really show their not just their voice, but their heart and their journey. So I enjoy them too.
Well, you've done that and then some with your heart, your journey, your story, the background. Hugely successful, accomplished singer, songwriter, Grammy Award winner, Billboard Award winner 2 times, Made for You, current single across all those streaming platforms, and The Hopeful, select theaters tonight in Los Angeles, California, where you reside, and of course out there too, released next week in over 1,000 theaters, Regal, nationwide. Hey, congratulations on all the success. Well deserved, my friend. Always great to follow your journey. Continue to have you here as a guest here on the Backstage Pass. Appreciate all the work you do for us and coming on talking about this great journey. God bless. Continued success going forward. I know we're going to cross paths again, my friend.
Thanks so much, Brendan, and thanks for all the support you have given us on this journey and my music. Really appreciate it, and can't wait for people to go and see the film. I can't believe it's opening tonight in lots of theaters all across America.
All across America. I gotta go check it out too. The Hopeful is going to be a lot of fun out there too. Regal just around the corner from me here in Texas. I got to check it out.
Yeah, and
tonight.
Hopeful.com, and they can grab it there, and they can see where it's showing tonight and tomorrow. So
thehopeful.com. Make sure you guys check out the website there, and all the music again available for streaming out there across all those streaming platforms, whatever you use, and of course JonasMyrin.com. Jonas, appreciate the time and looking forward to doing this again, my friend. And if I'm ever get out to LA again, looking forward to meeting you in person, and let's go to dinner. Why not?
I would love that. We have lots to shop on. So, but this was so good to see you again, man. And
yes, sir.
Just thanks for all the support, and so excited that we got to connect.
You got it. The one, the only Jonas Myrin out there, JonasMyrin.com, made for you across all the streaming platforms, and thehopeful.com to see if it's playing in a select theater near you out there too. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Another episode of the Backstage Pass, a group called The Heels coming on. Great trio of ladies. And, of course, Friday, my good friend Paula Slow. Next week, Doug Gray, the Marshall Tucker Band. You got to tune in for that one, too. The lead vocalist. They've been out there, Can't You See, Fire on the Mountain, many of the hits since the 70s, and still going strong on a tour even 40 years later for the Marshall Tucker Band. We'll see you guys coming up on the Backstage Pass tomorrow. Until then, God bless. Take care.